Hello, people of Earth, and welcome back to the Starfield. Today, we will be finishing the decoration of this Fallout home. I've dropped a lot of junk here that we are going to populate across this house in the decorator mode. Now, if you do this yourself, something that you will want to do is you will need to save after you've placed your decorations, then load that save. Otherwise, things are just going to fall. They will sink into your counters and things. So that's just a word of advice. Now, I'm going to open Google Drive on my phone so I can take a look at all of these screenshots and see where we need to start. So on this table here, there is a lamp. Now, I don't have a lamp in Starfield that I think matches, but we do have this yellow vase, and that is a yellow lamp, so it is somewhat close. And we have this hypno art lamp, so maybe between the two of those, we can achieve the same effect of having a lamp and it being yellow. Alright, and then also on that wall there is a picture frame and two faces. So let me see. I have this, oops, not this, a digiframe for our aforementioned picture. And then we need a tall vase and a small vase. So I'm just really just looking around on the ground at all the detritus that I've put there. This looks about right. And then a small vase. Which is going to be here. Micro vase, it is called. Okay, that's set there, and then we have something of a cocktail station over here on this table. I have a cocktail shaker that I'm going to put up here, and I also have a martini glass somewhere here. It'll be difficult to see because it is clear, and it may be something that we find later. If I can't find it right now, then we'll just come back to it. There's a spoon here. What joy it will be to sort through all of this later. Okay. I wonder if this, oopsie. I don't want that. I want this little blue vase. If I can get to it. There we go. I think this is a better fit for the colors of the, of what I have here. Let's see. Oh, it's not in that screenshot. I thought it was. Let's see here. It should be white. So I think blue is a little closer to white than yellow is. So let's just assume we can grab that, right? Okay. These little faces are pretty tough to grab, actually. Alright, we did not find our cocktail shaker. However, there are still more vases we will need to place. We have a big vase next to a small vase on one of the lower shelves here. And I wonder how close it will actually let us get to this. It seems like it'll let us put it on the shelf above, no problem. This is a thing in Starfield for whatever reason. rotate as well. It can force it to drop. There we go. So that is one vase there. And this small fancy dispenser actually looks like a fairly good match for what we want next to it. That one did not quite sink in as well as the other one did. So I think we need to definitely be below and then move up a bit until it is... Well, really until it threatens to want to sit on the higher shelf. There we go. So we're looking below it. It's going to let us put something there. Now the books are going to be potentially a pretty arduous undertaking, but we will see. Let's see. So it is mostly just books. There is a picture and there is a small vase up top, so let's get that vase taken care of here. That might be a good use for our mustard micro vase here. Might have to stand on the couch. The angle that you approach these things from is pretty important in Starfield, for whatever reason. There we go. Now, I think that's not going to sit far back. Yeah, it's across the front of it. So, I think if I'm up a little higher here and I aim at the shelf below it, then it should sit nicely. Yep. Exactly that. So, let's now place these books. I don't know how many we'll even want to place here. I should have picked some thicker books to make this a little easier to fill it out a bit more, but, you know, we have what we have here. And I'm using the new release of Starfield engine fixes, which has a place in red feature, or a disable building restrictions feature, more accurately, so that you can get these books a lot closer together than you used to. Let's go ahead and move this one forward, just so it matches up with that nicely. And it makes your bookshelf look nice. I think if you've got books of different sizes and colors together, it just makes it, kind of gives it that cluttered feel that I tend to like in decorating. Now that one is weird. I wonder if it is being blocked by the book next to it. It actually wants to sit down there. How odd. Yeah, well, we'll put it next to that one. They're a similar color, but that's okay. Are these actually the same book? Beyond the Jump Part 2 and Red Rover Come Over. They are not. For a second, they looked almost identical. Alright. Put a few more books here. And I hope you won't be able to hear the person revving their loud race car outside. Some people get a lot of fun from making loud noises with their cars. That's not me. I have fun placing individual books in a fictional world. Oh, these two are like fused together. Let's move that. There we go. That's gonna cause some unfortunate rotation. Look, this is an even better phase. Yeah, we have to commit, right? That blue vase isn't even sitting there. It's sitting above where it should be. So let's pull this one in. Alright, calling in the A-team. Fabulous. Alright. We'll place a couple more books and then we'll move again into the kitchen, just so we can get a little bit of variety going. I've got a ton of plates here, and if I had thought about it, I would have dropped these items where they're going to go, but almost certain does exist in this game, but I just don't have it. Alright, what else are we thinking of for this area? I mean, obviously, any number of books we can get here is great. Yeah, this is the best part of the Starfield engine fixes update. Look, I found my cocktail tumbler. It's not the glass that I wanted, but it's still pretty good, and I think this is a good match for this area as well. I know it's not fully in keeping with what was there, but I do think it has a nice effect. But I will be there. Sarah decides she's gonna sit here and contemplate her next move, maybe. I don't know. She's releasing a new hit single. Let's see. There we go. And we'll get a few more books up in that place as well. Something I do know is that on this counter, there ought to be a coffee cup and a comic book. So I see the comic book is here, and a coffee cup is here. So I picked this Adventures of Solomon Co. because I think it really matches the comic book style of Grognak the Barbarian. So that's why we'll put that there. Got a few more picture frames, and I know these, we have a few in the main bedroom that we'll put up. Let's see, also on this are looks like a dish rack and a plate. And there's an ashtray on the cocktail station as well, so we use one of these little bowls to serve that purpose, and we will get a plate. I was hoping for a white plate. We might not have one. Here's our dish rack though, so that we can put here, and I'm actually thinking that I might have in my ship some of the, let's see, Chandra. There we go. I think one of these bottles makes for a pretty nice, oops, I do not want to take all, I wanted to drop that. Let's see, new items are this Chandra port, so we'll actually kind of buff up this table a little bit, where we're going to keep the wine bottle like it has originally, but we're also going to add a bit as well, just because the surface that we have is larger than the surface that's actually in the home. Get our plate, and yeah, the metal plate is not the vibe right there. So let's just put this here. We'll get this moved over. I like that these vases have integrity because I have a mod that lets you break them, which is really neat, I think. Alright, now what else are we looking at here? We have our dish rack, our plate, wine glass. What else? I think that's our front room done, honestly. Actually, wait. There's something on the table beside the lamp. It is that looks like it might be a cup of some kind. Let's just put a coffee cup over there. And I wish I could have found a yellow table lamp to go here. But no such luck as it would happen. Alright, what else can we put here? Looks like we're moving on to the kitchen. We have a couple of bowls and a hot mitt on this section. one, and I think that's actually where the hot mitt is supposed to be, but we can fine tune later if we still want to. Now those are different size bowls in the photo, so we're going to give different size bowls to the counter that's floating. There we go. Yeah, sometimes you can rotate things in place and they'll just have a different vector that allows them to drop. There's our other wine glass. It also has integrity because it can also break if it's damaged. If you're interested in my mods, I have a list of all my mods in the description. It is very extensive. I really enjoy modding this game. There's tons and tons on offer. So if you haven't checked out mods and you own this game, there are so many free mods on the Nexus that you can make great use of now. The structure and the furniture pieces featured in this video are largely from paid creations, which are optional but can give you some kind of additional things in the game that people might not put there for free. But of course I always like to encourage people to use free mods and to try free mods because it's free. You don't want to put barriers in people enjoying things. There's my oven mitt. I was just walking in a circle, rambling, trying to find this oven mitt. Okay. That's floating. That's better. Now, I'm pretty sure that on the counters in the Fallout home, there are actually, the oven mitt is on the other side. How nitpicky do we want to get? Yeah, and there's a lid, and then there are, looks like 4 pots on the stove, or maybe a kettle. Now, I'm wondering if I actually have a pot lid I can use. Alright, same deal here. I'll try and rotate it. There it goes. Fits nicely down there. Now, I don't think I have a pot lid. Is that floating? Slightly, but I would say that it's not a deal breaker. I say that, and then I'm gonna obsessively try and move it around for a really long time. At least if it's in the center, hopefully that'll be less noticeable. Alright, let's find our pots and pans here. Now these don't have to be perfect because it would be difficult to get them exactly centered on the eye because these have components above and below. But in the Fallout version, there are 4 stove eyes and there is something on each one of them. Check it out, we found a pot lid. Let's see if we can make this work over here. I mean, we could have it sit on top of this, but maybe it's more advantageous, I think, for us to put it there on the stove, and we can still have additional pots and pans here to kind of flesh it out a bit. Looks like I have to put the back eye on first. Now I know that there is a kettle item in Starfield that I could use for this, but don't know if I have one. This electric tea kettle is sort of close, but you wouldn't put that on a stove. So instead I'm going to use a different pot here. We're going to move this over so that, it still looks this electric kettle nearby as kind of an homage. This might be difficult for us to get items here because it wants to place inside that thing above. So we're gonna get as close as we can to not doing that. And if I rotate this enough, eventually it should come back down. There it goes. Sit on the counter there. Okay. What's next here? There's a toaster in the corner, there's a bread box, and several plates. Now, I don't know about a bread box, but I definitely have a lot of plates. Things we can do here. Actually put some of these here, I think when we were decorating coffee cups and rags. I think this was before I realized how ambitious I wanted to get with the actual clutter. So instead of a bread box, I think we can put a couple of these sealed containers. And maybe we'll put this here. We'll set our containers here. This is truly a pre-war luxury. There's another container. And missing the last thing. So since I finished my book review video, I have finished 2 new books. I read Altered Carbon, and I'd already seen the Netflix series, and there were quite a lot of changes made that I thought it was still a great way to enjoy the book, even if you had an idea of some things that might happen. And I read The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, which was phenomenal. A truly outstanding book. It was really, really, really good. The characters in that were really fun. Huge recommend to anyone who appreciates science. It's like there's a lot of like fluff and interpersonal stuff, but it's also like really hard sci-fi, which is kind of a fun mix, I think. Alright, let's see what else we need to put on tables. On the kitchen table there's a bowl, a plate, a mug, a bottle, and some cereal. Now I don't think we have a cereal that's an equivalent. Although maybe we'll pull one of those sealed containers over and make that part of our setup here. To get another bowl, not that large a bowl, but one of these is fine. And a coffee cup, of which there should be plenty. Plenty of coffee cups. I'm wondering now about cereal, because I think there might be something that could fit. I've been tasked to talk with Samco. Alright, let's see what's in the aid section here. Those are gonna be beverage. What about this? No. It's one of the small containers. Let's see. I've got container of cereal. That could work okay. Because that is what it is. What else? else? What else? This isn't like an actual milk bottle, which I think is maybe what's on the table. But maybe not. Marshmallow treat cereal. I think that's gonna be actually what's closest to it. We'll just drop them both here. Alright, we have this Centauri Mills marshmallow treat, which is perhaps a far cry from the whimsical sugar bombs that we're so used to from Fallout. But of course we'll have to make some kind of concessions. Let's see, now there is a globe on that table and some more faces on those shelves. Let's grab some faces here. And a globe. We'll grab a bigger one here. I've got another oven mitt there. I think I got a lot more kitchen stuff than I probably needed. And that's no worry. Okay, here is another blue face. And I believe there are 3 here. If we can get them all the same color, it would be great, but it's not totally necessary. You know what, I kind of like this desktop soil bowl. Whoever wrote soil and bowl right next to each other did not try to say it first. Soil bowl. That's difficult to say, in my opinion. Alright, that looks nice. Ceramic. That's what we want. And then I don't know what's on this shelf. I can't actually tell in the picture, so we're just gonna put a couple of random things there. We're gonna put another oven mitt on this side just because we have it. And some more things we can put this picture on this table because we don't have a flower. Wait, we do have this. Maybe I actually do have a flower of some kind that could work for that. But in the case that we don't, we'll just put this vase here. Because I really am not sure I want to fool with finding the flower from some certain mod to do this. We're just gonna put a lot of this junk in the kitchen, because a kitchen should have junk, I feel. And it was hard for me to see fully in the videos if I got absolutely everything, every angle. But you can't always get everything, and for that reason we're gonna do a little bit extra. There we go. Now we'll get some coffee cups in here. Now I know there are a bunch there, but we do have a ton of them anyway. So we'll put one there, and if we've got more plates, we'll stack them. It may or may not let us stack them. Looks like it won't. That lays pretty flat though. Right there. Alright, that looks good to me. Now, something that I don't normally do. Hold on a second. There we go. Oh, that plate doesn't want to be lifted. There we go. This one does. You can lift things and move them. If you place them in the decorator mode, they will stay there, but some things just don't want to fit on top of other things. Okay. Sarah stole her plate. can't believe that we're redecorating without our permission. There we go. Alright, let's put that there. I like that these are kind of different sizes too. Alrighty. Whoopsie. Put that there, and then you can kind of kick these into place, but I worry I'm actually gonna make this go flying in a second here. Nope, that looks good. Alright, any more orange plates or bowls? Because I'm pretty sure we're done with plates and bowls. Let's see. Alright, and voila, there. Looks like we have another pot, so we might as well put that on. It was in my eye line and then it disappeared, so maybe we won't. Alright, kitchen looks good. I think maybe we can get back in the decorator mode here and add some more books to this shelf just because we don't want to leave it bare, and we have so many books. What is that? It says coffee glass, but it looks like a little bit of like a shot glass almost. Okay. So I finished those two books, and now I'm reading Dungeon Crawler Carl, which is a really fun book. It's very imaginative, and the style of humor in it is very, I don't know the best way to describe it. It feels like the humor from the game Borderlands. Maybe how I'd say it. Let's see. How did we get this one to do it? It kind of came back at us, right? Like that? Oh, it's still floating. I'm not sure how we got it to come back through here. If I place that, yeah, I had a feeling that was going to go up higher. That's something. No. Well, we'll leave that as is, and we're actually going to take one of these books, and we're going to lean it up against it, so that hopefully it's a little less visible. Oh, it did not lean, and in fact, kind of highlights how off the other two are. Can I maybe slide this one between there? Not looking likely. Yeah, some of these things don't want to be grabbed, I guess. Let's see. There. That looks good to me. Now we need a couple more to go on the edge. When you place books in the decorator mode, they have to be placed in this up and down orientation. You know, go figure why, I don't know. I guess they have to have a chosen orientation for them, but sure does stink that you can't rotate that. Alright, this bottom shelf is not going to be easy with these books, so let's focus on these middle shelves maybe, and if it comes down to it, we can just place books there outside of the decorator mode, and that can work for us as well. There's another book, and some more books in here. Okay, so that's interesting. That one will sit on the bottom shelf. Yeah, but it also floats. That's okay. Alright, let's get our next book in here. It's so interesting. Yeah, well, that's okay. I think we only need to place a few more books to have this feel more fleshed out. Alright, let's see. Kinda gotta look like at the upper periphery of the vision to see if that's landing where you want it to. And if I see the shadow under the book disappear, it means I know I've got it pretty securely on the shelf. That's good. Right, what is this? That's a like a notepad. Let's see. That's good. Let's get a few books. Oh, I've got one on the other side. Get a couple more over there. And let's see if we can do the same thing here. Alright, and I see no shadow, so it's good enough. Let's see, and another one. Scoot right in here. For movies, I just recently finished watching 3 Men and a Baby, which I'd never seen before. It's an older movie. And I started watching the sequel, 3 Men and a Little Lady, which I can tell is going to be just as fun. You know, it's a cute movie. They both are. In the first one, the sound design is just really, it was a choice. To just like record a screaming baby that many times. Not something I would do if I was making a motion picture, to have that sound kind of blaring all the time, but you know, maybe that's what they were going for. A little bit of a shadow there. It's hard to tell with as far down as I need it to be to get this placed up there. There, that's much better. Alright, that's coming together. Now, instead of an American flag, what if we just put a big bowl here? There we go. Basically interchangeable, right? Okay, that looks nice. We still have a lot more books if we wanted to fill this up. Which we should do something on the lower levels because it looks kind of strange. Here like this. You know what's so funny though is that if I place them this way, it looks like they sit on the level. No, that's still floating, isn't it? It is. And I'm not going to go outside to place all of these books to try and do the trick with the level difference, the height difference. We're just going to place a few of these here, and they'll be floating, but is this, A Tale of Two Cities is a book in the game, but every single character who reads it is reading it on a tablet. Go figure. That looks nice. I was gonna try to just nudge it in there a little bit more. See if I can keep it leaning. There we go. And I don't think that's gonna work as well. Yeah, it had to be pretty well lined up with this. There we go. Oh, just kind of popped off. And there. Oh, not quite. No worries then. Oops, I didn't mean to pick that one up. Oh, it thinks I want the cutting board, which is cool, no doubt, but actually wanted this blue book, Bleak House. Doesn't want me to pick it up though. How interesting. Might be that one's just a little bugged. Nope, none of these Bleak House books want to move. Did not mean to sitting on my bowls and cutlery. Oh, it's 45 of those guys. Oh, that's the bowl. Had me grab the bowl instead. Can't pick that one up. My, what a debacle. Some of these books just, were not made to stand up straight up. That's too bad. Let's see if we can get it to tip a little better. Not quite. Alright. Let's see. Well, maybe I don't know what I'm doing there. Let's try and put this one atop that one. Oh, that slides right through the other one. Look at that. See, that copy of Bleak House wanted to go and sit there. The other one didn't. It's a shame. How bizarre. Okay. Grab another one of these, and I really would like to have, at least one of them leaned up against the other. We'll get that done. Don't you worry. Alright, let's see. Maybe this one, perhaps. No, not quite. These are gonna look a mess. Anytime someone walks by, it's gonna change. Oh my goodness. So this is the other disadvantage to doing books. The way that we're doing them now is that they can interact with each other and potentially push each other off of the platform that you have them on. That is assuming that you can get it on the platform to begin with, though. There we go. Messy. These books look messy. We at least want the spines facing out, right? That's okay. Alright, I really don't have a solution to keep that looking nice. I think we're just gonna put some board games on this shelf. Anyway. I guess if that floats too, that's just the way of it. Still, I think the effect that has is pretty nice. Oh, I forgot we had another level up there. Well, that seems good for this room. So we have finished. Oh, we actually have not finished because we still need to put our cutlery out. Alright, let's get this spoon. And we'll put the spoon on the table. Not in the table if we can help it. It wants to sit in the table. It's a shame. Okay, well, it's gonna be a floating spoon. Do you know what some of these are different though? Let's see if this one will sit any better. Oh, it certainly does, yes. Assuming we can get it to go where it needs to. Alright, now we'll get a fork. Also wants to clip through, so it's gonna have to float as well. It's better. And we've got a couple of butter knives here. If I can grab them. I'm like over it for a second. There we go. That's tough. So, this cutlery is going to be floating. That's just an allowance we'll have to make for the engine of the game, I suppose. And here's our other fork, if I can get to it. It'll highlight in the top left, when I'm able to get close enough to grab it. Or when it knows it's being highlighted more accurately. You know, what we may do is, we may move it so that we can select it a little easier from this perspective. Fine dining fork. There it is. Okay. That will just be good enough. Alright, this glass, I'm just not sure. We're just gonna spruce this up a little bit. We'll need those pictures for other rooms, potentially some books for other rooms as well. These stuffies for other rooms. Maybe a coffee cup or two. Okay. I think by and large we're pretty much set here. See if we can put a fire extinguisher in the kitchen, just to be a good role model. It's important to have. We're embellishing a bit on the design anyway, so why not? Alright, this looks, if you don't look at the ground at all, it looks pretty neat and tidy. Pretty much a picture of what we were going for. I couldn't tell what was up top here, so I'm gonna just put a plant. That's my decorating strategy is if it seems like it's lacking something, put a plant on it. And that has not failed me yet. Alright, there's a few plates and things, a cutting board or two that we don't really have a spot for. That looks good to me, and we can grab all our other coffee cups and bowls and things and kind of shove them in that corner. But that looks nice and cluttered. This table is accurate. We had a little bit of clutter to that side, which I think is fine. Bookshelf has books That might be as close as we can get that. Yeah, the bottom shelf is a big mess, but I think there's little that we can really do about it. So, I figured this would take us more than one video to get through, and that's definitely going to be the case. So, I appreciate you watching this decoration video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.